My name is Matthew Watts, and welcome back to week 2 of our Uplevel CRM live build series. So this week, we're not just going to capture leads. Last week, we did our evergreen lead funnel. So that's how you can create a system that's going to always be working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's always going to be promoting your brand, gathering leads, sharing value, and nurturing relationships with those leads as they come into your system. This week, what we want to do is develop that trust engine a little bit more. So we're not just capturing leads, we're increasing the level of trust they have so that they'll move smoothly through that transition of stranger, lead, client that stays with you a really long time. So this week, we're going to be looking at better nurture emails. We're going to be creating follow-up that feels really personal and valuable. We're going to be doing one-click segmentation, which is just a fancy way of saying we're going to create a system that lets you filter your leads really easily so that you can see who's ready to buy now, who's not, and decide next best steps. And we're going to create weekly emails really simply so that they just roll out of the system on time, every time, into the inbox, so that you, again, can build that relationship with people. Okay, we're going to do this all live. We're going to do this inside Uplevel CRM, which is our white label Go High Level, which we've customized specifically for coaches, consultants, and financial professionals. If you want to find out more about Go High Level or Uplevel CRM, then just drop me a message. But otherwise, let's kind of get into it. So let me share my screen. So this is the companion workbook for this week. If you'd like a copy of this, just comment week 2 and we'll get that sent out to you. So as you can see, the theme of this week is lead nurture and relationship building. And today we're going to refine our 5-day nurture sequence. So if you followed along last week, you'll see that part of our evergreen lead funnel, we created a 5-day email sequence that goes out, that delivers the thing. Our example was a PDF or an ebook. So it delivered that PDF. And then over days 2, 3, 4, and 5, continued that relationship, shared value, shared actions, and shared insights that are going to, ensure that your new lead is, certain that they made the right choice in, opting in for your valuable thing. And it's reassured and encouraged and enthusiastic about the relationship that they've just begun with you. So let me share. So this is the document that I used last week and that I shared with you when I was creating my emails. So email 1, here's the goal, here's the CTA, here's the subject line, and this is the wording that we had to deliver the ebook. And then we had the second email, some kind of insight with a goal, because I'm selling software. So my goal is to book a demo. Your goal might be to book a call or sign up for a webinar, whatever the logical next step is for your audience. If they've downloaded a PDF, then the next thing might be to subscribe to your YouTube channel or whatever. So you can see we've got some pretty good emails here. I showed you how to write them last week. I showed you the guidance that my clients get when they join Uplevel, the writing prompts, the AI prompts, and how you can create emails like this pretty simply. But what we're going to do is we're going to refine them. So what do we mean with refine? Okay, so they're good. They're pretty good. They're really good, actually. But we could make them a little better because you've had time to think about it. We did this last week. We wrote the emails on Wednesday. So it's been 5 days. You've probably had a few ideas come to you in the shower, or maybe when you were walking the dog or sitting on the train about, oh, maybe we should say this, or what if I tried that? Well, that's what we'd like to do today. So we're going to go through and just make sure that each of these 4 points is in all of our emails. Now, again, this is another reason why I love to do this kind of work in a Google Doc, because one, you can access it anywhere, but two, when when we come through and go, right, we're going to refine these, we have the wording in a document, as opposed to having to log into your Go High Level system, or having to log into Up Level, or having to log into whatever CRM it might be that you're using, and editing them live in your funnel. That's not a great idea for a lot of different reasons. Least of all is that, if you make a mistake and don't notice it, then it's going to go out live. And so every new lead is going to receive this mistake. But editing them in here, you see them differently, you feel them differently, you read them differently to how they appear when they're in your CRM. Okay, so that's why I like to keep these documents, because you can revisit these whenever you want and make the changes that you want to make. So if I share let's make that a little bigger. There we go. So here's my document with the first email. So what we're looking to do is add merge tags where needed, strengthen our call to actions, and add a personal detail or some kind of social proof to each message. So, I mean, if you're a coach, consultant, or advisor, or a finance pro, and you've been doing this for a while, it should be pretty easy for you to have, some social proof or some relevant personal information that's going to make your new lead, your audience, feel really comfortable as they're reading your content and getting to know you and getting to know your business and how you do things. So in our first one here, you could, and I like to keep this pretty straightforward, this first email. Like, it's got one job: deliver the thing. And so that's what this is all about. If I was going to add something to this, I would do it as a PS, so as not to take away from the main action here. But it might be that's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of trust in Google reviews. I can't write 17 Google reviews. You might send them to Trustpilot, or maybe to Xero, or the ICB, or whatever your professional organization is, where you're gathering feedback from your clients. It might be your LinkedIn profile. Maybe you've got recommendations from clients on your LinkedIn profile. So it might be that that's the kind of social proof that you're adding. I certainly wouldn't, particularly at this early stage, I wouldn't just insert random testimonial. I would send them to a trusted source, like a Google review. If I was a restaurant, maybe it would be TripAdvisor or OpenTable. Some platform that the audience knows isn't in your control. And so the feedback, the testimonials, the reviews they're reading is going to be genuine and trusted. That's what we want to do. Okay. So that's definitely what I would do to strengthen this first email, although I'm very happy with this first email. Let's have a look at the second one here. So if your CRM isn't doing this, you're the system. Now, I know what that means, but my audience might know what that means, might not know what that means. So I might want to change my subject line here. Okay, and that's slightly too long, but you can see what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I'm trying to open a loop. So, and I'm providing negative feedback here. So I'm saying if your CRM isn't doing this action, it means you are, and that's not good. So they're like, oh, well, I don't want to be in a situation where something in my business isn't good. So how can we change this? So then they're more likely to open this email because there's going to be a negative opportunity cost there for them. So, and then we'll keep going through. Okay, so it's just about revisiting it, isn't it? I mean, there is, but maybe there is on your end, you know? And let's have a look at email 3. Try this today, it takes 10 minutes. Okay, so that's going to be really good because, and you can see how I'm stacking things here. In this first email, I gave them the lead magnet and I shared some reviews, and they're going to go, oh, that's pretty cool. In the second one, we're sharing an insight. In this third one, I'm giving them something to do. So at this point, they trust me that my emails make sense and they're relevant and they're not going to be too long, and that I'm honest. So if I say it's going to take 10 minutes, they know it's going to take 10 minutes because I've delivered on everything so far. Okay, so we're stacking the value. And then we give them a little activity. And here we might say, we've already built it for you, just switch it on. This is what Duncan had to say about the system. And then we would insert the testimonial there from Duncan. Let me grab it actually. Okay. Great. And then I'll just pop that in there. And then sweet. Okay. So this is really relevant to what I've said here. That's why this is a particularly good fit. Okay. So I've added some social proof, and that's strengthened the email, and it's going to strengthen the call to action. And so then that's solid. And it's really important to do this review because so many times I see really clever people, really clever coaches, really clever consultants, really clever advisors, and they build a system and then they never revisit it. They might not even remember that it exists. So coming back to these things with the new knowledge and the new experience and the new insight and the new attitude that you've developed through your continued education, through your continued work with clients, through your continued networking and personal development, revisiting all of these assets is only going to make them stronger and more relevant time and time again. So the more effective they are, the more time you're going to save because people will move from stranger through to lead through to client faster. The more money you're going to save, because people will move faster. So you're not going to have to spend as much on advertising. You're not going to have to spend as much on marketing. You're not going to have to spend as much on sales. Your profits are going to go up because your costs are lower. So revisiting and refining and evolving not just the wording in an email, but the systems that you create over time is really, really important. And I'm going to share a document later in the week that will help you track the systems that you've built, the systems that you've got in place for your business, so that you can go and you can schedule, right? Revisit my Attraction 101 system, revisit my delivery system, revisit my internal system. So all of the different components that make up the technological ecosystem of your business, you're aware of them and you understand how they work and how they fit together. Okay, that's so important. And I think that's why I wanted to start this week with a review of what we did last week, because it demonstrates the importance of understanding what you've got and making it better. You know, if you buy a car and you don't look after it at all, it's going to die pretty quickly. But if you service it and if you wash it and if you put the right fuel in it and the right oil in it and you change the spark plugs and the air filter and do all the things that you're meant to do, if you top up the air in the tires, it's going to be fuel efficient, it's going to be safer, it's going to last longer. All of these things, your CRM system, your business's technological ecosystem is exactly the same. You need to maintain it. You need to be aware of it. And that's just what this demonstrates, I think. Okay, and then email 4, why this works so well. And yeah, in this one, I might just put a PS that says, this is what another piece of social proof. I suppose a good way to think about it is what would you need if you were completely new and didn't know anything about your business? What information would you need to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel comfortable enough to, want to book that call and share personal information? Be vulnerable with that person about their coaching offer or their consulting offer or whatever it is that you help people with. What will people need in these first few messages to feel strong and consistent and trusted? You have to be positioned as trusted. And testimonials are a great way to do that. I know we've already sent them to Google to capture these, but now we can kind of pick the ones that are going to be most relevant to the content of the message or the feeling that we would like the reader to have as they get to this stage in our funnel. And then our last one. Yeah, look, see, I'm already really happy with that. I think that's a great email. So I'm not going to make any changes to that. So what we've done is we've reviewed everything that we did last week. And look, this kind of sums it up. Don't rush past it. You can create quickly because done is better than perfect. Get it up, get it built, get it out. Create quickly, iterate quickly. So iterating means revisiting it and redoing it and going over it and improving it, not just create it once and move on forever. We have to revisit these things, okay? So that's what we've done today. Tomorrow, we're going to add another email, okay, called the value loop. I think it's a really nice way to check in with people, see where they are, identify who's ready for the next stage, who's not ready for the next stage. So I'm pretty excited about sharing that with you. But that's it. If you'd like to follow along, if you want the companion workbook for week 2, just comment week 2 in the box wherever you're seeing this, and we'll get that sent out to you. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. And yeah.